Welcome back, guys, and today we're going to compare the power of GPUs versus ASIC machines. And ASIC machines have really come a long way from when they could only mine Bitcoin and Litecoin, but now you can see that something like these Baikal miners can mine 4 or 5 different algorithms per miner. And it is really hard to fight with GPUs against those ASICs because they are so much more efficient and power efficient and have so much more hashes that it sometimes really feels like that you're going into the war with stick against a tank. So we are going to compare how many GPUs would you need to fight against one of those ASICs. And this is for everyone who doesn't want to support companies like Bitmain and just want to continue to mine with something like the RX 580, 570s or NVIDIA GPUs. And mining was so much more profitable before, but now because all of those ASIC machines, it has dropped a lot, like we have seen when Monero hard forked. The difficulty went down about 60 to 65% in just one day. So ASIC machines are a huge part of almost every coin, even if we don't know that, and it will be a hard fight going forward with GPU miners. So let's take a look at how many GPUs you need to fight against one of those ASIC machines. We are going to compare a few different companies like Baikal and Bitmain, and we are going to compare them against some of the most popular GPUs using hash rates from few different sites plus the hash rate that NiceHash reports. So the first miner we are going to take a look is Baikal BKB, and this miner can mine Blake R14, R8, 2B, Libri, and Pascal. And for example, in Blake R14, it gets 160 gigahashes with only 410 watts of power draw. And something like GTX 180 Ti, if you take a look at R14 algorithm, it gets about 4 gigahashes compared to 160 gigahashes that this Baikal miner gets. So Baikal miner gets 40 times more than GTX 180 Ti in Blake 14 Air algorithm, and it costs only $2,700 compared to the GTX 180 Ti that can go even up to $1,000. So 40 times more hash rate for only 3 times the price, and it uses only double the amount of electricity that something like one 180 Ti would use. So the next algorithm we're going to look is Libri, and in Libri it gets 40 gigahashes at 400 watts. And to get hash rate for 180 Ti for Libri, we have to take a look at NiceHash miner and see how much it reports. So it reports 480 megahashes for Libri, so that is half a gigahash. So Baikal is getting the same amount as almost 100 of those miners. To be more precise, it's 80, but you still get the point. So 80 times more than GTX 180 Ti, and that is why you cannot fight against those miners. If they enter into your coin, into your algorithm, it is done for you. You would need insane amount of GPUs just to fight against one ASIC. So in Pascal, it also gets 40 gigahashes, but it uses only 210 watts. And GTX 180 Ti gets 2 gigahashes in Pascal. So this miner is only 20 times more efficient than GTX 180 Ti in Pascal mining. But that is still a huge amount. For only 3 times the price, it gets 20 times the efficiency. So let's take a look at something else. The next miner is Baikal BKX, and it can mine X11, Quark, Qubit, Mirat, Skyne, and some 2 other algorithms that will be added soon, as they say. So in X11 mining, it gets 10 gigahashes per second, and this GTX 180 Ti gets 20 megahashes. So you would need 500 of those GPUs to compare to only one X11 Baikal miner. And in some algorithms, those miners really destroy the GPUs, but in some other algorithms, they are kinda weaker. But it all depends on the algorithm, how advanced it is, and how much virtual memory, how much RAM, and how much processing power it needs to do those hashes. And of course, some of them will be a lot more GPU friendly than ASIC friendly, but they are really rare. And for Quark, Qubit, Mirat, and Skein, we need to go to the other website to see how much it is better than the GPU mining. So 180, the normal GTX 180 gets 31 megahashes per second in Quark mining compared to 10 gigahashes, so I would need 300 of those GPUs. So in Qubit, it gets 23 megahashes per second, so as much as 400 GTX 180. And for Mirat and Grotesti, we have to go again here and find them on this list. So in Gruest it gets 61 megahashes compared to 10 gigahashes, so as much as 150 of those GPUs. And it is getting really insane, and even like in Skane where it gets only 5 gigahashes per second compared to 600 megahashes, so this is as much as 8 GTX 180 Ti's. So every algorithm that those ASICs touch, they completely destroy it, and there is no way that we can fight against that. So let's go to something else, something from Bitmain, and this is the Bitmain E3 miner. And I made a review of that miner a few days ago, and then it costed $800, but right now it is at $1,800. So the price increased for $1,000. And even at $800, it wasn't really some of the best ASIC miners. It was okay, but now at $1,800 you are just better off building a 6 GPU rig, because with 180 megahashes per second it has the same hash rate as 6 RX 580 GPUs, and if prices go down just a little bit more closer to MSRP, then for $1,800 you can get 6 of those GPUs, and they would also consume only 800 watts of electricity, and of course you can resell them later on compared to this miner that will be completely useless if Ethereum goes proof of stakes or changes the algorithm. So the next miner we have here is miner for Dash and miner D3, and this is the cheapest miner that Antminer has. It costs only $311, and if you scroll down here you can see that it gets about 17 gigahashes in X11 mining, and something like 180 Ti in X11 mining gets only 20 megahashes. So this is insane. This is almost as 1,000 of those GPUs, because X11 algorithm is really friendly for ASIC miners, and there is absolutely nothing that we can do with GPU miners. We cannot compare even a little bit. And the last miner we're going to take a look is Antminer X3, and this is the Kryptonite miner. And this miner is the reason why something like Monero needed to hard fork really immediately, because with 220 kilohashes in Kryptonite it would destroy the Monero, and it would destroy all other coins like Sumo coin or maybe Electronium that really rely on the decentralization, anonymity, and mining all over the world and not just in China. So for this we're going to compare it to something like Vega 64 that does really good at mining with Kryptonite. So we can see that we get about 2 kilohashes per second on Kryptonite with Vega 64, and this miner at 220 kilohashes, it is the same as 100 to 120 Vega 64 cards, and with price of $1,900 you can get like two and a half Vega 64 cards, and it mines more than like 100 Vega 64 cards. So I really hope that this helped you understand how much ASICs are more powerful than the GPUs, and how big of a problem they are, because even if you have like a huge mining farm with like 100 or even let's say 1,000 GPUs like Vega 64, which are one of the most powerful for mining, and then somebody buys 10 of those X3 miners for $1,900, you're done. They're going to spend so much less electricity, and they're going to be so much more profitable with return of investment of only a few months. And that is why we need to get rid of those miners, or at least change algorithms every few months, or do something like that. So thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know if you really think that we should get rid of those miners, or if we should just let them allow to sell them and maybe buy some for ourselves. And see you soon in another one, and bye.